little bit about the contracts or the statement of work, and you'll hear us say the SO. We call it the SO. And it's one of the most important documents that you'll sign while in contract with us. And actually, you know, Synergy signs a statement of work with Arise, since the partnership is with Synergy and Arise, but we also provide you with a statement of work so you're aware of what the expectations are. And this contract will also list the minimal times or intervals that you're required to work. And as you see the word intervals, all interval is 30 minutes blocks of time. So if you see something that says you're required to work 30 intervals, that means 15 hours a week are required. So you divide the intervals by 2, since there are 2 30-minute blocks in an hour, and that will give you your per hour requirement. You'll also, this SOL will also list the amount of pay that you'll receive, how you're graded, how your metrics will be weighed and measured to see, you know, how are you doing? Are you meeting the client's expectations, you know, for average handle times? Surveys, you know, surveys are a very big part of, you know, any business. They want to know what the customers think about the service they received. How our agents interacted on the phone? Were you helpful? Were you pleasant? Etc. We also have a system called the Star bonus system. And once you're out of your first certification contract, that would take effect for you. Many of the different clients pay additional money for star bonuses. And so, of course, as a star, we have 1, 2, and 3 stars. And just in general, a 1 star for most accounts is the minimum hours required. Sometimes there's probably no additional monies paid on those, just because it is the minimum. But if you were to earn 2 stars or 3 stars, a lot of our clients pay additional percentage of money on your pay based on you meeting the metrics that were listed for 2 stars or 3 stars. And we'll go into that in more detail. It will, however, also be listed in your opportunity announcements for the clients before you select them. So it is something you can see prior to selecting a company. All right. Now, your certification statement of work or SO is always listed and issued at 45 days. And rightfully so, because it's a time frame that you just are completing class. So we're giving you time to be on the telephones and to learn your craft, to hone in your skills on how to take the phone calls and to learn your way around, and just how do I put the call on hold? You know, there's a lot of things that you'll be learning during this 45 days. So within that time, you will be expected to work the minimum amount of hours that are listed there. That is taken in high consideration when you are graded to see if you'll be issued another contract. If you are issued another contract or statement of work, then the next one will be for 90 days. And so as long as you are performing, you know, above par and above, you know, at the expectations of that contract, these contracts can be renewed every 90 days just based on you. Did you do what you told us you were going to do? Did you work the hours you promised to work? We're very heavy into commitment adherence. And for us, what commitment adherence is, I selected 10 hours, did I work 10 hours? Or, because that would be 100%, but or did I pick 10 hours, but I only showed up for 5 of those hours? That's a 50% commitment adherence. So as you can see, no company would want a 50% commitment adherence. Currently, we allow 90% or above. So we even gave a little wiggle room for the days where you may be late getting home from work and you get a flat tire. Maybe you're sick and you just can't talk. You have laryngitis or that dreaded flu that's going around now, etc. So the expectations are spelled out in writing prior to you even selecting a course. Now, I also mentioned that you would be responsible for selecting your own schedule and the times that you work, because based on the client's hours of operation, you'll be able to go in and pick your own times to work. You could do something technically as maybe you want to work 9 to 11 on Monday morning, and then maybe you have a PTA meeting at the school. Tuesday you want off. Wednesday, maybe you want to work 5 to 10 in the evening because the kids are going to grandma and all of that good stuff. So you would have to, you can make your schedule that way from day to week to week, because normally we have several weeks of our schedule in advance, at least 2 to 3 weeks in advance. So it allows you to plan and still have a great balance in your home life and your work life. On our schedules, sometimes pre-select will come into play on, when the hours are available and how many you can get. But they are released in the schedule at certain times and certain dates that you will be advised per client, because it could be different depending on the client that you're looking to work. And the opportunities will also tell you, like a lot of times, when is their peak times of day. So a business could be open from 8 in the morning to midnight, but they find that they get the most calls maybe from 3 to 7. So that would be a very busy time for that company. And so they would have probably most likely more agents scheduled to work, or that they need to work during 3 to 7 versus 8 to 3 and then 7 to midnight. So you can even plan to say, this is when all the calls are coming in. Maybe I want to pick my schedule during that time. So you can plan your incoming calls. It's expected to be busy. On the same token, the technology that we have can scale down the amount of agents needed. Sometimes the number of calls forecasted may not come to fruition. And so instead of having agents just sitting there waiting for the telephone to ring, we will notify agents that, hey, we have what we call an interval exception. We don't have as many calls coming through as we thought. Would a few of you like to sign out and opt to not work? There's no sense of sitting there if there's no phone calls coming in, because remember, when there's a phone call coming in, that's when the pay is being generated.